That is from my PI. She's a plant, Hayden. I'm gonna destroy this thing.
Hi guys, this is your favorite mystic, TheSirenSayz. Welcome back to my channel where we speak about movie, TV, and soon-to-come books, and everything that I like, dislike, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything all throughout and in between those frames of media, okay? A lot happened, and we're going to discuss it, honestly. But first of all, disclaimers as usual. These people are not real, okay? So passion is accepted, alright? But you don't have to go too far. I know I've screamed, right? But usually when I'm screaming, I give like for and against, and I try to see it from both angles where possible. Okay. But yeah. Let me not talk about what I just saw. Let me just go in order from what happened to what I saw next. So, we start off.
I need to ask you something.
What?
Do you know Fatima?
Who?
Fatima Wilson, do you know her?
Right? With Hayden, Gary, and Tamara. And let me just say the negatives, and then I'll talk about the positives, and then I'll go back into the full thought. Negatives, I don't understand why Hayden was treating Gary that way, knowing the whole time that he believes him. Like, that's like the remnants of the Tyler Perry writing that just like, why are we doing this? Like, if he believes Gary, just let him dap that nigga up. Like, he was not wrong about Gary being petty, but Gary wasn't lying. Okay, that's the only thing I'm gonna give that crazy criminal. But Gary was not lying, right? And you could tell that Hayden believed him by the way that he came at Tamara or whatever, the second he got back into the house. So to me, it's like, why are you over here telling him that he needs to get a new lawyer for his taxes, and then you're not trying to be friends right now, which obviously is not true, because he about to meet up with him in the office, and they about to make up, and they're about to plot on all of them. But what was the whole point of that scene of him being like, nah? Is it that he was hoping that, okay, let me try and be fair. Maybe he was just hoping that Tamara would have a good excuse, and when she didn't have a good excuse, he just decided to go off on her and be like, yeah, that nigga Gary wasn't lying then. Because I guess you could say he did give her, he gave her chances to, like, you know, craft a different narrative, but she was just saying, how could you trust him, all of that, let me give you sloppy toppy, all of that, you know. So definitely I think that from that perspective, maybe that's where it was coming from. He didn't want to believe Gary, but as Tamara kept talking, he's like, you know what, I shouldn't even have said that to Gary, because Gary was correct. Maybe that's where it's coming from. But the scene was done a little clunky, so it was just kind of annoying to see him like tell Gary the truth, but in the wrong place. You know, like, yes, Gary is bitter. He don't really want to see people around him happy. He don't really care. He kind of looks down on Hayden. So he wasn't wrong about that, but within this context, he wrong, but he right. You know? So that is what it is. So when he goes in, he speaks to Tamara, and the conversation that ensues did nothing but bring a smile to my face. Bro, I have to admit, okay, Hayden did it for me for 5 seconds. I know. What? Girl, when he said, I'm not done talking, I felt something a little bit. I felt something with the acting. That's why I keep telling you guys, right? Hayden's actor is one of the best actors on the show. I believe him. Every time he talks, I believe him. So I just thought it was really funny the way that he came at her, but I also thought it was really good. Like, yeah. Now, just to be fair towards the character, he's a terrible person. So if Tamara is really gonna get his money, I'm completely fine with that. I'm not like, oh my god, Hayden's my favorite, he don't deserve. Like, no, I like Hayden the same way I like the Joker. Well, not the same way, but within context, I like Hayden as a villain. So if he's gonna get his comeback, he deserves that. He deserves for Tamara to take his moolah. I'm fine with that. But I definitely liked him trying to assert dominance over her, because we missed that Hayden. You know, we missed the Hayden, you know, because even when he was talking to her, he's like, you do realize I'm a lawyer, right? Like, it's gonna get dark in here if I find out you was lying. I thought that was such that whole sequence of conversation. I loved it. It was one of the best scenes in the show to me. It had me enjoying Hayden, enjoying Tamara, just enjoying the entire conversation. I had a lot of fun watching that scene, and I liked it. Also cemented Hayden as one of my favorite characters, because sir, you deserve to get your money took, but talk your ish, sir, talk your ish. Now, Tamara, snaps for Queen Tamara, okay? I think it was absolutely brilliant of her. Now, she's going to be the thumbnail, okay? There's a lot of things that could be the thumbnail. She and Hayden, or just her, is going to be the thumbnail. The way she came at this man and said, I'm not stupid. I know a bunch of lawyers that I don't put it on, and they gonna do whatever I ask. I'm gonna get all this, or at least half. You gonna run me my money. So do what you want, say what you want. I'm not signing no annulment. You gonna run me this check. We gonna divorce the good old fashioned way. I was like, ah! And here's why I decided to give her a little bit of a queen status, temporary crown. When he asked her about Fatima, she said, I don't know her, but I know you, a short ass beat. I love it. Okay, I was like, ooh. Because, like, she doesn't really have much loyalty to Fatima. She kind of does. I guess you could make the argument that, you know, she can't rat out Fatima because then the madame would come get her. But I do respect that, you know, she found a way to lie to him, but while telling him the truth. It was very Jack Sparrow. I loved it. I loved Tamara in this scene. I loved Hayden. I could watch that particular scene of this episode over and over and over and over. Okay, it was really good. I liked it. So I'm excited to see what he's going to do to Tamara. I'm excited to see what Tamara got up her sleeve. All of that. I'm very excited because it's about to be a big mess. And I am excited. Look, when her wall came off, when her mask came off, her mask, she was just like, let me be semi-real for a moment. I was like, ooh, this is getting juicy. This is the type of drama that I like, right? I don't need to be stressed out about how stupid or dumb characters are acting that don't make any sense or that is holding up propaganda, right? Hayden is a villain. Tamara was brought in by one of the main characters, and I don't like that decision because you see what's going to happen to Fatima now. It's dumb of her, but within the world of telenovelas and dramas and soap operas and all that, these are the type of scenes that make you enjoy this type of show. Like, this is the nonsense I prefer to see. The acting was done well. The dialogue wasn't as annoying as it usually is. Well done. Alright, see, this might be more positive until we get to the end. Now, next up, Sabrina.
So glad you believe me. So, they agreed to let you come back to work. Oh, really?
I have a lot to say about Sabrina, so let's just get into it very quickly, okay? Very quickly. Now, Sabrina spoke to Miss India. Class act. Don't really know where her accent is coming from, but class act. Of course, it's telling her you got your job back. Now, let me just say this so that you guys can know what side I'm on. I don't care what nobody say. India was 1000% right. Miss India, 1000% right. She didn't say nothing wrong. There was no undertones of nothing. She was completely right with everything that she said. Every single thing that she said, she was completely right about. Okay? So when India came to her, she said, I know you, I know your personality. To be honest, There were things that Sabrina said even in that meeting that if this was just like a trial run just to see if she could trust her, she should have called her back and said, you know what, we actually got somebody else filled the position. We are, fired, I'll get to that in a few seconds, but I just want to say I'm on Team India. Like, if somebody were like, oh, and I'll talk about the good and the bad of the things that Sabrina had to say, and some of the things that Sabrina said that actually really confused me. But this is what I really appreciated. I appreciated that what India said, it's infallible. You're not gonna fight her on these facts. So, Sabrina is nervous, of course. Might she not get her job? And Sabrina, let me just say, you're lucky you still have your job. All right, you're lucky. Okay. Miss India was like, I vouched for you a little bit, and they were trying to say no, which honestly they should have. I know. Throw tomato. Oh, boo! Tomato. They should have said no, because if you're gonna add some realism into the show, this is a realism that will happen. People like Andy still have their jobs because they were able to, cut corners and, hold the balls of the rich and whatever. But with Sabrina, her keeping her job doesn't really make much sense. I understand that India likes her, that she's a nice person, and that is true. However, that does not mean that, that's realistic. It really isn't. So she said she's going to keep her job, but she's going down to the downtown district, which she said is busier, but that doesn't necessarily equate to more money to me. It just kind of equates to, we're going to give you the less relaxing job, kind of just like as like a small punishment, but they also need the help down there. So, it might mellow out after a year. We'll see. Right. Then she asks about Maurice, which India didn't even really say she was going to get into that, but she did. And she said, yeah, we know that he didn't intend for this to happen, but we're not letting him back into the bank. And here's one thing that they said, right? That Sabrina tried to bring up to Maurice, but kind of didn't. She said, not only was he personally involved with the bank robber, right? But people have been complaining about him for years. So here's what I think happened. I'm just going to bring this up for 5 seconds. I'll talk about it more when I'm talking about Maurice and Sabrina's scene. But it seems like this is what I was talking about. Like when this scene happened, she said, oh, the bank robber, personal ties, But when she spoke about people were already complaining about his conduct at the bank, I was like, you see what I was talking about? Right? In the beginning, Tyler Perry led us to believe, right, which was false. He lied to us as the audience, trying to make us believe that Maurice knew how to code switch. He does not. He does not, because why are people at the bank complaining about you? Whether it's patrons or co-workers, whoever was complaining about him, right? So it seems like, I'm about to get into it too far. Let me stop. But he's not gonna get his job back for those two reasons. He was too involved with Q. It's a liability, which makes a lot of sense to me personally. Okay, and people were complaining about him regardless. So it's like, too many instances, like he was already getting a bunch of second chances in certain respects. And this is actually one of the reasons why I think Sabrina shouldn't have been kept. Because, here, I can bring it up now to stop up the section. She kept saying that Maurice is her best friend. To me, if I'm India, I'm firing you. Let me explain why. Is Sabrina a nice person? Yes. But her judgment is not sound. It's not sound. I understand that Maurice is your friend. I understand why you want to fight for him. But Sabrina has consistently ignored the red flags in Maurice's personality, to the point where she'll just blow up at him once every 2 seasons when he just when his offenses just gets too much within their personal friendship. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, girl, first of all, you knew Maurice, you knew Q was sketchy, you still were like hyping Maurice up a little bit, right? You were semi-involved in it, right? I feel like she should have been fired too. Not to mention the Jabari issue, right? You were involved, personally involved with a co-worker. It ended up wrong. That co-worker ended up going to jail. Like, you are also piling up offenses, and then you're also here defending somebody who is not well liked and does not behave properly at the office. She lucky all she got was demoted. She's lucky. Anyways, so Sabrina decides to do something smart for once and, start shutting up about Maurice and just lets India talk about her new position. And it goes on. But I thought the scene was very interesting. It was decently acted. Let's move on. So, the next scene we got is, here we go. Fatima and Zacchaeus. Alright.
Thank you. Good. Go ahead. Just for all of this, like, you always find a way to keep me calm and just hold me down. Like, I really need that.
One thing I cannot stand, bro, and I keep saying this, and I'll keep repeating it, because obviously somebody go hear me one day and it's gonna stop. Zach, stop telling Fatima that she deserves better, because obviously she don't think she do. Ooh, oh no, boo, tomato, why would you say that? Guys, come on. I'll tell you this right now. At this point in time, I kind of prefer Zach to Fatima. And that's sad. I know Fatima ranked higher than Zach in my rankings, but they might have to switch places because Fatima, she's loose. The screws have been loosened. She keeps banging her head on the headboard with Zach and the screws get loose. Loose. Because why does this man have to keep saying that he's so grateful for you? And I know it's like, oh, you don't want appreciation. There's a difference between appreciation and someone kind of looking at you like, wow, how much can I get away with here as long as I don't openly disrespect you? Oops. And this is me saying I prefer Zach, so I don't dislike Zach. I feel like Fatima is at fault at this point, right? She keeps reiterating that she doesn't care about his past. She's here for him. She always gonna hold him down. And you know what? That's another thing too. I didn't like that part of the conversation where they were talking about who gonna hold it down. And she was like, sure, there are some women that would have run away from all of this, but there are other women who would hold it down. Let me talk about this, dissect it a little bit. Number one, the women who would run away from Zach are smart women. I don't know why we're talking about them like they're weak. It takes strength to walk away from temptation. Because obviously Zach got something about him where the women that are entangled with him find it hard to dip out and leave. So I feel like they're pretty strong for staying. And I love how he's saying that like Karen wasn't staying. I know that she kept leaving, but obviously from what we can see from all throughout these years, they're empty threats. She would leave because she was upset with him for disrespecting her, and then she disrespect him, and then she'd come back and she'd hold it down. I heard a lot of people say, oh, we don't know if Karen would be okay with him having a kid. Would he be as nice as Fatima? Fatima is a nice person in general, so she wouldn't be as nice as Fatima, but she would care about the kid, as we saw. It takes a kid being in an aboo-boo situation for Karen's nice meter to turn up. Which I've discussed why I don't like that already, but it is what it is. But I didn't like that because they tried to make it seem like the girls who will be mules are better than the girls that would walk away. There's good and bad on each side. There are people who are really incredible and they'll just stick through anything. And there are people who are terrible, who are super flighty and walk away. There is a difference between somebody who doesn't want to work out things that are easily workoutable because we have a lazy generation versus somebody who does not want to go through waves of a boo-boo. A boo-boo stands for ABUSE. Don't forget it, okay? She keeps saying that she doesn't care about his past. Understandable. Allow people to evolve and change. But his past keeps coming back in waves. That is the problem, Fatima. And he also did 1 or 2 to 3 things during the time when y'all were trying to figure stuff out. It's not like, oh, it's just the baby mamas, it's just Hayden. No. In the beginning of their relationship, people love to act like they weren't really together. No, in the beginning of their relationship, he decided to go woohoo with Karen. Call it cheating, call it not. But he decided to give her one last go round. He cheated. I don't understand why we have to keep having this conversation. Fatima is dumb and she's gonna stick by your side. So let's just let it go. She's stupid and she's here. So let's just accept it. Okay, every single episode, Zach has to go on and on about how grateful he is that she stick by him. Because who will stick by him? He's now said this exact sentence. Lean on me when you're not strong. I can't believe you stick by me. He said that in 5 different terminologies every single episode. Fine, we get it, Zach. She's here. She's stuck. She's up and she's stuck. I don't know what else to say about that. Enjoy your little relationship. I know y'all not gonna break up, so I'm not gonna complain about that right now. I already have a Fatima video that will be coming out soon where I talk about what I would have preferred to see after I realized that her and Zach is not my cup of tea. But I am aware that from the way the writing has looked for years now, that they are obviously going to end up together. They are the most secure OTP in the entire show. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, I wish she would leave. Like, it's not gonna happen. So there's no more use complaining about it. I've done said what I had to say, and my mind will not change. Just because they're stuck together don't mean I gotta like it, but I will acknowledge that they're stuck together, and that is it. Alright? Now, further going on to the point, right? Fatima tries to make it clear that there are lots of women that would stick by. And obviously, I know Zach has had some pretty rough time with women, but sir, you're in the black community. Women be holding it down, no matter whether they should or not. Like, let's stop acting like in 2023 men do not know how women be in this community. Can we stop now? This is not the 1990s where it's stereotypes and rumors. We know exactly what's going on. We know, okay? So Wesley comes by. Did not go well, because you know how the court system is. And how is the court system, Siren? The court system is very much faulty. A lot of the time, because there can be false reportings, and people don't like to talk about that. They just like to talk about how broken it is, and it is broken. But one of the many reasons that it is broken, one of many, is that there have been a lot of false imprisonments, false arrests, false removal of children, stuff like that. And so they haven't found a good way to counteract it. But one thing that they tried to do to make it fair is that we need evidence, which is why lots of people, like, let's say they want a restraining order or they want to get away from somebody. Unfortunately, they don't get anything until it's too late, because they would need evidence. And in order for you to get evidence of a boo-boo, somebody could end up either being damaged beyond repair or unalived, and that is terrible, because we just haven't found a way to mitigate the side effects of those type of stuff, in my personal opinion. So Wesley is like, okay, we're not gonna be able to get this right now. It's gonna take some time, but I do care about your son. I've heard everything you said. I believe you, so I'm gonna use all the contacts I got to work on this, right? And this is why I'm saying I prefer Zach to Fatima at this point, because Zach was so respectful. Like, he got a little rude by the end, but I didn't even think it was that rude. To me, I'm like, okay, he's obviously just acting like this because it's his son, and his son is being boo-booed by the mom and the terrible boyfriend. So as I was watching it, I was just like, wow, like, Zach is really matured. And I'll bring up in my Zach-centered video, how he, for some reason, is the only person in this show that has a character arc. It's small, but it's constant and it's annoying. So, Zach, showing up his character development, tried to be respectful to the guy, had a low, calm voice, asked him questions, was frustrated, but wasn't rude about it. And you know what, Zach, I respect you for that. Now, obviously, that's going to take some time, and a lot's going to be happening with Heather. Apparently, Fatima's ready to mollywop her, so we gonna see what's going on. You see what I'm talking about? Why are you fighting her? If you fight her, right, and the people who are working with Wesley come by the house, they're going to see you as the person who was wrong, Fatima. You see what I'm talking about? Why is it that Fatima is losing her mind? Why? I'm asking for a friend. In any case, let's get to the fun part. Hayden came in like a thunder dragon. He came with all the smoke, okay? And he was ready. Because even though Tamara said, I don't know her, he don't believe that. So he came at her, at Fatima and Zach, you know, and they were both acting dumb. Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The one thing that kind of annoyed me was that Andy came in and he was just like, oh, you're involved in it. Like, she's not involved. She has prior knowledge of, but she's not involved, not in my opinion. But yeah, so, you know, so they're going back and forth. He's you know, ready to pull up on Fatima. He is ready. Like, he is just ready to be as disrespectful as he can to Fatima. You know, he does not care, and he's ready to be disrespectful, and he don't care who got a problem with it, you know. So here's one thing I'll say. I'm here for Hayden getting revenge. I know, strange comment. Here's why I'm okay with it. Fatima never should have done this. I understand why she did it, and it worked for 5 seconds, but it was like putting putty on a dam. It'll hold for a while, but the dam still go burst. You should have found a better way to get rid of Hayden. A better way. Why couldn't you have, like, manipulated him onto a dating app? You know, something where, like, you had something to do with it, but, like, it wasn't a girl who gonna trick him out of his money. You know? Just showing how reckless that she has become is all I'm trying to say. Okay? So, you know, Andy comes, and so now he's trying to rope Andy into it. It's stressful, it's whatever. Zach leaves so he don't end up beating Hayden in the place of business anymore. You see what I'm talking about? Growth. Good on Zach. Good on you, sir. And, you know, Fatima admits to Andy that, oh, Hayden is acting like this because he found out about Tamara. And, you know, rightfully so, for 5 seconds, Andy is like, oh, Fatima, I told you this was a bad idea. And I think one thing I don't like is how they're all kind of underestimating Hayden a little bit, except Andy. Andy is the only one who's like, this is not going to be good. Like, you know how petty he is. This is not going to be good. And I'm like, why aren't you guys scared? I'm not saying that you should, like, be scared in your booth. Like, after he leaves, shouldn't you be sitting there and be like, okay, what am I going to do? Because this nigga has a lot of connections. You know what I mean? So, yeah, a lot of nonsense is about to go. It's about to be very stressful for the people in the law office, which is what I said a couple episodes ago. I said, you know what, girl, Andy, talking to your little friend is going to be the least of your worries. You might as well just talk to her and let her know what's going on with Gary, because that'll be the least dramatic of your day, sweetheart. The least dramatic of your day. So, next, we'll talk about Andy.
I want you might want a restaurant with tablecloths.
I am not who I'm perceived to be.
Jordan comes by the office to take her out to lunch. They sit down and they speak. I'm going to talk about them before I talk about Karen, because might as well. They were talking, and once again, they're trying to peel back the layers of Anne to show she's more down to earth. Guys, women who like the finer things are not down to earth. What should matter is what she like, is she bougie and mean? There's a difference. You know, like, if she's mean, then fine, humble her. But if she was kind of nice the whole time anyway, she just wants niggas to be on a certain level, then, like, there's no problem. And I kind of resent that. Like, I don't like Andy, but, like, she's not a mean person to me. So it's like, why are we trying to act like she's, like, a bad bougie instead of just bougie? You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense to me. So they're at this little diner, and she's like, I don't mind diners, da-da-da-da. You know, they were talking, they had a little banter. You know, I can say they had a little banter. I don't really care, though. I kept thinking, you know, how endearing would it have been if, like, Robin took her to, like, this hole-in-the-wall diner, you know, that he had a little bit of, like, stock in or whatever, because, you know, like, they serve, like, the best empanadas or something, and they just ate there. Like, I just kept thinking about everything that she could have had with Robin that she never will. either because her character won't allow her to, and or because Tyler Perry refuses to put this man back on my screen, even though I beg every week. I beg, you know. But in any case, I don't know. I guess I just don't like the narrative that Andy is this ungrateful, mean-spirited bougie girl who only wants the finer things. You know what I mean? Like, this is not the way to characterize her character. Like, this is not the way to do it, you know? So I just didn't really appreciate that, but I don't really appreciate much when it comes to Robin and his friends in any case, you know what I mean? So, they talk, they have a cute discussion. He obviously still wants to see her, so we'll be seeing more about that. Maybe they can change my mind. I doubt it, but we can see if they can change my mind. You know, we can see about it. No hope though. It's Team Robin out here. Like, if Robin comes back, like, let's say in like a month, like it's halfway through season 7, the second half of season 7, I start to like Jordan, but then Robin comes back, any care I had for him will be gone. So sorry. But yeah, let's just get into Karen really quick, because I don't really got much to say.
I can't afford this.
No. It's the same amount that you pay for rent.
Where's the location?
You wanna go check it out?
I'm conflicted. Number one, I don't know anything about construction, realting or any of that. So I don't know how to feel about him. Yes, he's giving me creepy vibes. I'm getting a lot of different reads on him, which is a bad thing because that means I'm not able to pinpoint it, but I just know it's sketchy. So I think he kind of likes her, but then I'm also not sure. Does he have a wife, or is he lying about it, right? Is he just trying to extort her, take a lot of her money, right? That would be super ruthless, but he ugly, so I'm joking. Not about him being ugly, but him being ugly doesn't have anything to do with him being sketchy. But like, I don't know. He could be lying about the wife, or he's telling the truth about that and he's trying to scam her. He could have a wife and try to scam her, you know. All that could still be true. He could also be pretending to have a wife because he didn't want to talk to Pam, but then he likes Karen, but she already heard that he had a wife, so now he's just gonna have to backtrack that to have her fall for him, because Karen decided to trust this man very easily. And I'm gonna have to make a video about these girls trusting the next nigga so easily, because the nigga that, you know, the nigga that they could have trusted, they decided not to. Like, I'm gonna need to discuss that, because anyways, yeah, I don't know. He could be all above board and the signs could be obvious, because I don't know anything about construction. He's just reading as a scam to me. However, I could be wrong, which is why I'm not gonna go off about it for hours, because I just don't know, guys. I just don't know. Now, I think it's interesting that she didn't just call Sabrina to get a realtor, because Calvin is a realtor. But, you know, it just goes to show that don't nobody know nothing about Calvin. Sabrina didn't even know nothing about Calvin, because if Sabrina knew that Calvin was a realtor, then Karen would have called Sabrina before she called Zach. Like, hey, Calvin is a realtor, but, you know, who cares? Yeah, but I guess that's it right now on Karen and the sketch tractor. Also, girls, stop trusting niggas, okay? Stupid. Alright, let's get into Sabrina and Maurice.
Can you please stop saying that African like it's a bad thing?
Being an African is not a bad thing.
Stop it.
That's just a bad African.
Stop it.
Usually, if I talk about one sister, I just talk about them all the way through. But I wanted to segment this because I wanted to really just dig into Maurice. Boy, you didn't think they were going to give you your job back. So you were low-key surprised when you thought that they were going to give you your job back. That common sense that you had there for 5 seconds, keep it. Think about it. Breathe it in and expand. Breathe in. Expand. Woo. Expand it, bro. Expand it. Because in what universe do you get your job back, sir? In what universe? Let me know. Let me know. I'm asking for a friend. Okay. So Sabrina comes in. She's trying to be all coy. She's trying to have small talk. You know. And Maurice is being belligerent as normal. Stupid as normal. And then she like tells him the truth. let me try to be positive, because there were a few things that I did like about this scene. And this is, I, you know what, this is what I'll say, I'll say it in the end. But there were some things I liked about this scene. We'll discuss it. I do like that Maurice did not blame Sabrina. He never looked at her and said, you HOE, you 304, you this, you that. Like, no, he took it. He understands to a certain degree why he not gonna get his job back, and he just ate that. Now, he's not taking it well, but he's not putting that on Sabrina. Now, you could say him reacting a little badly is going to be putting it on Sabrina because she has to just take on Maurice's troubles. But that's her business at this point. I don't have nothing for these girls, bro. I don't have nothing for them. So, well, any of these characters, really. Now, he's just like, okay, I'm going to have to start selling milkshakes. Code, can't say what he meant, but you know what I meant by that. I like that he said, I'm never gonna be dizzy again. And this is what I was saying, like, before, when he met that guy at the party and he didn't just rush on the way he usually would have rushed on. And I thought, wow, like, all the other girls, right, they've been through some horrific things, kind of similar to Maurice. Like, they've been in jail type situations for men, but it seems like Maurice is the only one who's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to tighten up, like, this can't. And I hate that Maurice is like, even though I don't like him, like, he's making better decisions in short term based off what happened. Like you could see that he was conned and almost lost everything because of the way that he's moving now, right? He's not talking to people any better, but he at least is not being as all over the place with his body like he used to be, right? He's trying to keep that in check because he realized that was one of the issues. Why is it that the rest of the girls can't do that? Why is it that Maurice is like, yeah, and even though I don't fully agree with this, because it's not just Q, sir, it's you, but he was like, oh, Q is affecting me to all this time, I'm gonna have to watch who I mess with, correct. Then why are all the other girls, just like a small segue, why are all the other girls not able to have that thought process? I'm so confused. Anyways, so they have a discussion, and Sabrina reveals that she is now the assistant manager, because she was saying, oh, maybe I can write you a letter of recommendation for another bank. It's like, well, I'm an assistant, so who knows? And he's like, girl, they demoted you? And I'm like, yes. Honestly, she should be in the terminal. She shouldn't be managing nothing. She should have to work back 3 more years to get back to the managerial position, because FBI, open up. Sir, of course they demoted her. I was shocked that they just, because the whole time she's talking to India, I'm like, did they just give her back the same managerial position? Like, how'd she get back? Like, I'm gonna have to demote you. I'm sorry. Like, if you gonna get your job back, you're not gonna get it the same place you left it. So of course she was demoted. That makes nothing but common sense to me. You know what I mean? But yeah, so they kind of key about it, have a sad moment. For some reason, Maurice, he's like, oh my god, what am I gonna do now? What am I gonna do? I'm like, sir, do what Sabrina told you. Go on unemployment and try and find another bank, or use whatever accounting skills you have to, like, temp at another job and try to build your way back up and try to see if you can get these charges to clear all the way so that you at least don't have this looming over you, right? But I can understand to a semi degree why he would want his old job back, because that little job paid pretty well. It's not a little job, but what I mean is that job paid pretty well. Him and Sabrina, like, might not love the style of their house, but they were able to live in comfort for the job that they had. But maybe you should have thought about that before you let in criminals, right? And of course, Sabrina was talking to him about, like, oh, you were just trying to help him to a certain extent, but it was also just lust. After he got his lust off, he liked him, and so because of that, he was willing to help him out. But he wasn't just trying to help him out at first. It was lust at first. So it wasn't as good as she would like to, portray it. Yes, they did bring up bio, but I'm going to skip over that because I said everything I had to say. I said what I meant what I said, and I'll say it again. Period. Now, that's about it with that. I know there was a bunch of stuff that I did want to say, but you know, I said everything I want to say. Anything else, I'll make a prior video. I think the only thing left for me to talk about is the people I hate, Danny and Tony.
Conflict of interest.
Oh, okay, well, what interests are conflicting?
You.
Me.
So Danny, I know that she was flirting with Tony the whole time. I agree with that, but she seemed a lot more relaxed and about it today. Now that she's not with Preston. I know people are like, but she was always flirting with him. Yes, she was. But what I'm saying, now that she's not with Preston anymore, you can see that she's a bit more into the flirtation. You know, like before, like she would like be pretending to hold back but be flirting at the same time. Now she's not holding back at all, and I can say that. I'm just saying that I saw the difference in that. Girl, you're stupid. Okay, the fact that one thing that you both have to talk about is that he peeping Tom on your conversations is a red flag. Baka. Anyways, I don't really like her. I don't really want to talk about this, but because the drama with her and him has not started yet, but there will be drama, and I'll be here for every second of her being like, oh my god, I didn't know he did this, I didn't know he did that, I don't know he had this, I don't know he had that. I'm ready for all of that. If you guys want to know what I'm talking about, please go back to the last video, which is over 1,000 views. Dang, thank you guys. Because I said what I said in that video. It has some spoilers for what will be happening in the future, and I said some. So if you know more than what I said in the video, you just know more than me, which is fine. So yeah, they're gonna go out tonight, and they had some banter, and who cares? And Sabrina's gonna go out with Rich, and they had banter, and who cares? But let's get to the piece de resistance. Andy, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. I forgot to bring this up, and I should have. When she was talking with Robin, sorry, not Robin, Jordan, I might put the clip up so you can see. Here we go, Andy.
I think what everyone's forgetting is I'm going through this too.
Of course.
Okay. Now, she kept saying, I think what's annoying me, this is me paraphrasing, is that people don't realize that she's going through this too. Girl, your friends know. Your friends cared more about you than Penelope. Isn't that what everybody was complaining about? That the way that Penelope was hearing was tactless? They cared more about you than Penelope. So relax. Like the way she keeps looking at Penelope, it's giving, I was married to Gary for 5 years, and this girl's been his mistress for 2, and she knew about me the whole time, and she over here pregnant, smirking at me. You know, I always tried to get pregnant with him, and it never worked, and here she is with everything I've ever wanted, looking at me and smirk. That is not the life you're living, Andy. You left him. Right? You tried to start over, and you see, this is why people kept saying that you were just playing games, Andy. They were saying that you were just playing games because why are you still so mad at Penelope? Hey guys, I'm not a hypocrite. You see how I don't like how Zach reacted to Aaron? I don't like how Andy reacts to Penelope. It's giving jealous. What are you jealous of? He is a weirdo and be a terrible person. Nah. Get a better attitude and Dima. Alright, sis? Don't do that. Don't be mad at her because she want answers. Don't be side-eyeing her. Well, I went through it too. Not really. Kinda, but not really. Yes, he cheated on you. Yes, that's a lot. But she's the one who's pregnant for this nigga. Like I kept saying, you can get therapy if the soul tie is really that deep, and you can walk away. She can't just walk away. She high-key tied to this nigga for the rest of her life. You are not. And you want to know why I said therapy? Because I understand that it's not as easy just walking away. So get some therapy and walk away. In that order. Stop acting like you're in the exact same place as her, or that you're even in the exact same place as his ex-wife. I feel like you had more empathy for his ex-wife Jaslyn, or whatever her name is, than you do for Penelope. And Penelope is way nicer than his ex-wife. So I don't know where his anger is coming from. Girl, are you jealous? A lot of people were saying, oh, Andy just likes to play games with Gary. She gonna want him. She gonna want to be back together. Girl, if you're in love with him, get over it because you're petty. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Get over it, Andima. Alright? And the reason why I'm asking you to get over it right now is because I don't respect this side of you. I know she's gonna get over it and she's just gonna talk to her, but I need to talk about her attitude, and I might make a separate video about it. But no, gross, disgusting, I hate it. Tragedy, tragique, gross. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this down below. Can't wait for the next episode. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's popping. All right, please do enjoy your holidays. The holidays are approaching. I got a long weekend, so a lot of videos will be made. They might not all be posted, but they'll all be made. Okay. You know, this show is getting better, but some of the stuff that I complain about is remnants of the old writing. But the show is getting better. I want to say at the end, I really do enjoy these scenes more, right? Even people that are terrible, because the writing is so much better that it's more enjoyable. You smile a little, you laugh a little, you know? But as I was gonna say, please let me know if you want me to watch for better or worse, because I will get on that this weekend and start dropping videos next week. What you mean? I would love to watch that and talk about it with y'all and hear you guys' thoughts on the show. Okay, we out here, we watching TV shows together. We love it. We did me live. Please let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know what else you want to see, because a lot of things are going on with Tyler Perry. Anyways, have a happy holiday, and it's the Saturday. Goodbye, my sires. Sue.